Good morning, ultimate hustlers, digital empire builders, and generational wealth seekers. Today, we're talking 16 ways to move people to the action you want them to take without being pushy. It's called The Art of Persuasion. This is part two of a five-part series. We are getting it in. We'll, of course, recap what we talked about yesterday, but I want you to do me a favor. Go ahead and comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. If you like a free business shout out, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody on your timeline also needs to get this information. It's a game changer when you understand how persuasion works. And this is not a negative connotation on the word persuasion, but we are all in business. So we're looking to increase our sales and that kind of stuff. So the art of persuasion comes in there. But also, if you're not in business, persuasion is a life skill that you must develop. I'm going to talk about how to do that and part two of our series on the art of persuasion. So make sure you comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, and let's kick it. Yo, what's up, ultimate hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities, and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally, or I've learned from, or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network, and when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ultimate hustlers, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite followpreneur from monetizemylifeacademy.com, where we want to help you take your gifts, talents, and special abilities and turn them into income. That's why I'm giving you a free copy of my book, Monetize My Life, 4 incredibly simple ways to turn your gifts, talents, and special abilities into income with little to no startup cost. Guys, we have this wonderful tool called the internet, and it will allow you to take your gifts to the marketplace, and it don't cost you that much to get started. And this book outlines the 4 simple steps to do that. And for a limited time, you also get access to my course, How to Become an Influencer, which is something that everybody seems to be trying to figure out these days. And I want to help you do that. So make sure you go to www.monetizemylifeacademy.com/free book, and you will get your copy of this. Just cover the cost of shipping and we'll get it out to you. And then you'll get instant access to the course, How to Become an Influencer. Let me know who we got in the building today. Looks like we have Kimberly Armstrong in the building. Welcome, welcome. And Johan Spike is in the building as well. If you guys have businesses or brands that you're building, shout yourself out, man. If you are not shouting you out, I don't know who is. We're talking 16 ways to move people to the action you want them to take without being pushy. That's called the art of persuasion. So we're going to get into that. But before we do, I always got a couple quick announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, I am still giving away some cool gifts for those of you who are willing to make a donation to the Black Business Expo Scholarship Fund. I've been tapped to speak next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time and talking about the power of content marketing, podcasting for your local and small businesses. I can't wait. But if you go to the link in the description or in the show notes and you make a small contribution of $10, then you're going to get a $50 restaurant, $100 restaurant voucher. If you donate $25, you're going to get a $100 restaurant voucher and a hotel discount card, which is going to come in handy as you start doing your travel for the summer. And if you donate $50, you will get a free vacation voucher to one of 12 different destinations all over the country. Plus, we're going to throw in that restaurant voucher and that hotel discount card as well. So make sure you guys go to the link in the comments, in the descriptions, and I want to bless somebody for helping me show some love to the Black Business Expo Scholarship Fund. Also, at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, I want you guys to tune in to the Own Your Now show, because yours truly will be a guest on that show with Lady Yo and Madam Tracy. So tune in to that as well. I'm super excited. I always love being on the other side of the microphone and being interviewed and talking about my favorite subjects in the world: generational wealth building, entrepreneurship, and personal branding. So let's talk art of persuasion. 16 ways to move people to the action you want them to take without being pushy. Now, lots of entrepreneurs tune into the show. After all, it is the Cortez Hustle Show. But even if you're not an entrepreneur, persuasion is just one of those life skills that you have to understand how to master. How many of you guys would like to use the art of persuasion to get your boss to give you a pay raise, right? See, persuasion is not just about entrepreneurship. It is about sales and moving people to action, but you're selling people on different things, not just products and services. Like I said, you got to sell your boss on why you deserve that raise, right? You got to sell that company on why they should hire you in the first place, right? All of that is part of your ability to persuade. So we kicked this thing off yesterday and we gave you the first 4 of the 16, and we'll try to get through 4 or 5 more today. So let's recap real quick. Number 1 in the art of persuasion is to make sure that you focus on them, right? Persuasion is about them, not you, right? Understand the other person's needs, wants, pain points, desires, hopes, and dreams. Number 2, you gotta know how to communicate clearly. Sometimes the reason we don't get what we want is because the people we're trying to get it from simply don't know exactly what we want because we're not being clear. Number 3, start small. And when I say start small, it means get the other person to agree on small things before you go in for the big thing, right? We call that in the business micro commitments or mini yeses. Small yeses equals big successes and closing on big sales. So you'll notice that a good salesperson is building a relationship. They're communicating clearly. They're building rapport with you. And a lot of times when they want you to say yes, they're not in their heads with you. They don't want you to say, they want you to say no. They're kind of shaking their head no, giving you the nonverbal indicators on how to respond. And nonverbal communication is a huge part of how we bring through the art of persuasion. Number 4 is powerful. You got to be your authentic self, man. Nobody wants to be sold, but everybody loves to buy, right? You guys can agree with that, right? You love to buy, you love to shop, you love to spend your money, but you hate to be sold, meaning you don't want people trying to talk you into these decisions. But once you've made that decision, there's nothing that makes us feel better a lot of times than spending some money, right? Everybody loves to buy, but nobody likes to be sold. So in this art of persuasion, you have to understand that. And it's all about being your authentic self. Be genuine, be who you are when you're explaining what it is that you have to offer or whatever your argument is. So that's what we covered yesterday. I'll put a link in the description and the show notes for you to check out that version of the show if you missed it. But let's move on to number 5. Use reciprocity, right? Reciprocity. Few things are more persuasive and powerful than reciprocity. The reciprocity principle is the idea that if I do something for you, you feel compelled to do something in return for me. Let me talk to my 21st century entrepreneurs and those of you who are trying to figure out how to move and grow and build your brands online. One of the reasons that content creators give so much value for free is because we understand the law of reciprocity, or sometimes known as the law of sowing and reaping. When you put good out in the universe, guys, it just comes back to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. That's why I don't mind sharing these tips and strategies with you every single day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, because I want the blessings to come back into my life. So keep those comments coming, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know the name of your business and or your brand. If you like that free business shout out. Again, if you're not shouting you out, I don't know who is. Number 5, reciprocity, right? That is, if I do something for you, you feel compelled to do something for me in return. A very simple example is when waiters put a mint and a personalized thank you on the check. That very small gesture can make people feel like they should leave a larger tip, right? It's like I said, this art of persuasion is not just for those of us who are in business selling products and services. You got to understand this as a fundamental life skill. You are always trying to get people to move and understand your side of the argument, get them to take the actions you want them to take without being pushy, right? As us parents, man, if we haven't figured out the art of persuasion, your kids will run amok, right? You got to figure out how to get your kids to move to action, especially when they start getting older. Like my youngest son is 19, right? He'll be 20 this year. As his dad, I would have the ability when he was under my roof to tell him what to do and make him do certain things. Well, when they get grown and gone, it's no more about you forcing them to do things as their parents. You become more like a consultant in their lives, right? You become more like a consultant. And in that case, you got to kind of get them to the place where they see that the things that you are trying to get them to do are for their best interest. So you persuade them and get them to move without being pushy using some of these techniques and strategies. You can use the principle of reciprocity to more effectively persuade people. If you can give someone something of value, there's a much greater chance that they'll feel a sense of obligation to you. They'll feel like they should give you something in return. This is the reason why persuasion is different than manipulation. With persuasion, you're actually seeking to add value to the person you're trying to persuade. You're not just trying to get your own way. Again, when we go back to the number 1 thing is persuasion is all about the other person, right? Persuasion is all about the other person. Manipulation, on the other hand, is all about you, right? When you're manipulating somebody, you don't care about them. You're just trying to get what you want and how you want it and when you want it. So that's a major difference. But giving value is so important, especially for those of us who are in the online space, right? You are trying to build rapport and relationships. We're trying to get people to know, like, and trust us. And one of the ways to do that is to give value with no expectations of receiving anything in return. That, my friend, is a lesson that we all must learn. Double A is in the building. Good morning, Jessica Williams. She says, subscribe to the Zeal Real podcast for inspiration on the go. I see that, Jessica, the Zeal Real podcast, ladies and gentlemen, inspiration on the go. Let's see. What else do we have? All right. Number 6. You know what? Before we do number 6, I didn't give you guys my quote of the day. So let me backtrack a little bit. The quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show is me sharing a quote that inspired me, usually the same day. Usually these quotes I get in the morning as I'm listening to my morning motivation and I'm doing my workout and I'm riding my couple miles on the bike, and I've added a quarter-mile run to my mornings now. But today I was listening and I heard Steve Harvey say, if you are trying to be successful and happy, negative thinking has no place in your mind. You guys agree or disagree? If you're trying to be successful and happy, negative thinking has no place in your mind. You can probably be successful and be a little bit negative, but you won't be successful and happy if you're negative all the time. And I don't think you can be too successful either. At least you won't have long-term sustained success with a negative or pessimistic mindset. One thing I know about all successful people, they have a growth mindset. They have a prosperity mindset. They have an optimistic outlook on life in general, just period, man. You got to understand that negativity and pessimism is, you can't win there, right? And we all know people like that. And let me tell you this, pessimism is also contagious, right? If you hang around pessimists all the time, you hang around negative people all the time, you will become negative, right? We all know people who've got a problem for every solution, and I can't be around, I can't stomach them, right? It's like you come to me with a problem. I'm so optimistic and I'm so growth oriented. I'm going to offer a solution. And then when you come back to that solution with anything other than I'll consider that, you come back to the solution I offer you with, well, that won't work because of this. Oh, no, if I do that, then this is going to fall apart. And I can't offer but one solution. And if we're not going in a positive direction from there, then I got to cut the conversation short, man, because I'm not going down that negative rabbit hole, that negative road. And here's what you got to understand about people who are inherently negative. Most of the time, they're not looking for solutions. They're looking to recruit you into their pity party. And I ain't got time for no pity parties, man. I'm trying to build an empire over here. So the last thing I want to do is go to somebody's pity party. Steven, the Credit King, is in the building. Welcome to the show this morning. So understand that if you're trying to be successful and happy, negative thinking has no place in your head. And what you have to do is when those negative thoughts pop up, you have to replace them with something positive. It takes practice, y'all. We live in a world that thrives on negativity, right? Think about your news broadcast. Your news broadcast every day will show you they will show you 95% of the time the 5% of negativity that goes on in your community. And you will by default start to think that your community is 95% bad. No, it's 5% bad. They just talk about that 5% 95% of the time. And you start to assume that it is bad because that's all they talk about, right? It's like they say, turning a mountain, making a mountain out of a molehill, right? They just love to accentuate and really sensationalize a whole bunch of stuff that is not that bad to begin with. So that is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. And today's quote of the day is brought to you by KidsLoveMoney.shop. My girl Sanika has really put together a very, very nice book to help bring financial literacy to kids. And if you don't mind, I would love for you to support our sponsors. So check out this short clip from KidsLoveMoney.shop. right, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue on with our discussion on the art of persuasion. If you're in business, it's going to be great for you to start learning and understanding and practice some of this stuff. But let's be clear. The art of persuasion is a life skill. You're every day you're trying to persuade somebody to do something, right? If you want to be happy and successful, cast down negative instantly at every turn, and that is key. And that was by Steve Harvey. So let me just recap real quick. We talked about the art of persuasion. Number one, you got to learn how to focus on the other person. Persuasion is about the other person and not you. If it's all about you, that's not persuasion, that's manipulation, right? Number two, learn how to communicate clearly what it is that you want. You want to get somebody on your side of the argument. You want to get somebody to take an action that you want them to take. You want them to ultimately get to the place that they want to take that action. That way, you're not being pushy. Number three, start small. Agree on small things and then progress to some of the bigger things. Be authentic, man. You got to be yourself at all times. That was number four, is be authentic. Number five, use the law of reciprocity. Give first before you ask and see how that works out for you. Number six, use proper patterns of speech. Research has demonstrated that in situations where someone will disagree with you, it's better to speak faster. Why? Because it gives them less time to come up with the counter argument. This, in turn, makes it easier for you to persuade. Right? This is why at the end of the pharmaceutical commercials, their side effects runs really, really fast. right? To be clear, avoid speaking so fast that a person has trouble following your argument. You still need to be clear and easy to follow when communicating. On the flip side, if a person is more inclined to agree with you, speak more slowly. Give them time to evaluate what you're saying. Give them time to process and see that your argument actually lines up with what they believe. Remember, it's all about them, man. You've got to make them feel comfortable. You've got to speak to their needs, desires, their wants, their pain points, their dreams. And you got to communicate clearly that you have a solution, or that the argument that you're proposing is a potential solution and worth giving some full thought. So this is one that I don't 100% agree with. I don't like the idea of fast talking someone. But I get what they're saying is to really get your point across before someone has time to really start picking apart everything. Because sometimes if you don't do this right, you can't even get to the good stuff that you're trying to get across to someone before they jump in and interject. So sometimes you do have to quickly get to the meat of what you want to get across to them, and then let them digest it, and then slow down and really help them to understand. So use proper patterns of speech. Know when to slow down and break things down on a third grade level. Know when take your clues from their nonverbal communication, right? Their body language. You know, everybody's got that look when they're confused. So if you're in tune and you're paying attention and you're saying something, that look says either I'm confused or maybe you're speaking too fast. So start picking up on that so you can use a proper speech pattern based on who it is that you're dealing with. Some people listen really fast so you can talk fast. Some people not so much, right? Some people actually get offended if you're talking fast, but those nonverbal communications get clues will help you determine that. So use the proper patterns of speech. Number 7, this is another good one that you have to learn how to use, but it has to be properly placed. Number 7 is create scarcity. Now, when we say create scarcity, we're talking genuine scarcity, right? Not some phony made up scarcity, right? This deal is going away today, and you know tomorrow the same deal is going to be on the table. No, we're not talking about that. Genuine scarcity. People want what they can't have. right? Also called the fear of missing out. If you can create a sense of scarcity around your proposition, there's a much greater chance you will persuade them. What exactly is scarcity? It's putting some sort of restriction on what you're offering. This restriction often creates a sense of urgency within a person. They feel like they need to take action on the offer or they'll miss out on something, right? The fear of missing out is one of the greatest motivators of all, right? And that, again, this is not just about selling a product or a service. Learn how to use this with your kids, right? Learn how to use this with your spouse, your mates, right? I had a great fear of missing out story, right? My wife hates when I tell this story, but I'm the type of guy that I've gotten so addicted to passive and residual income that linear income makes my stomach hurt. Linear income is when you do something one time and you get paid one time, or you do a lot of heavy lifting and you just get paid based on that. I like passive income and residual income. And my mother-in-law asked me to come lay a floor for her, right? Because I'm pretty handy. I'm not a certified carpenter or anything like that, but I've done some things and you know, out of necessity. So she asked me, can I come lay a floor? I said, Mom, listen, if there is not a way that I can lay that floor one time and get paid over and over and over for laying that floor, then you got to find somebody else. But my wife quickly spoke up for my mom and said, listen, you do get paid over and over again if you catch my drift, right? It's like, okay, there was some fear of missing out there. That was a great persuasive argument. So needless to say, I went and laid the floor for my mother-in-law. So understand the power of FOMO, fear of missing out, or creating scarcity. The scarcer something feels, the more people want to get in on it. Excuse me. There are numerous ways you can create scarcity, including limiting how many of something you're offering, highlighting what a person will miss out on if they don't accept your offer, putting a time limit on when someone can get in on an offer, or adding bonuses that can only be gotten if the person acts now. But again, if you're in business, this can't be a false or phony scarcity, right? It's got to be real scarcity. Like when you give a discount and you say, hey, discount is good through this date and time, then you got to change the price that date and time. You can't keep saying, oh, well, we're extending it, or really it's the whole thing is a lie. Hey, my product really just costs this, period. I just say it's this, and then I'm giving them a sale. People see through that stuff, y'all. They really do. And it's not good. It will ruin your reputation in the marketplace. It will ruin your reputation in the marketplace if you don't do scarcity right, and if you don't properly place the scarcity. Like, you can't start out with scarcity. You got to let people see the value of what you're offering first, and basically get them chomping at the bit to get it. And then scarcity should be used to push them over the edge, right? That's in my opinion. That's how I use scarcity in my business, or in my attempts to persuade, right? Got to use scarcity, fear of missing out. Really quickly, guys, let's jump into 1 minute motivation. 1 minute motivation is where I play a short motivational clip, and I ask you to comment your takeaways on the clip today. Man, I got a good one queued up for you guys. So take a listen at this short motivational clip and comment your biggest takeaway. One of the reasons I love 1 minute motivation is because we all listen to the same thing, but we're going to hear something different. So check out 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hub Show.
Life is going to see how bad you want what you say you want. Impose your will on it. Life will give in to you if it knows you're serious about whatever it is that you're trying to do. Life will give in to you. Whenever you start, you make sure you finish. If you do not kill me, you will not stop my drive. No petty adversity will not stop me. I have to complete every mission that I set out on.
From this day forward, set out to achieve greatness, not by looking for someone to give it to you, but by going through all of the blood, all of the sweat, all of the hard work, by going to work to set your own inner greatness free. I believe in you. because I know it's there. No matter what anyone else has said or how anyone else has made you feel before, it's there. So you had it harder than other people. Well, then you're going to have to work a little harder. But trust me when I say you have greatness inside you.
Wherever we are, with whatever hand that life has dealt us, we have the freedom of spirit. We can go through life whining and weeping, or we can have the kind of spirit that regardless of what happens to you, you can stand up inside of yourself. You have an uncomfortable soul. It can be painful. It will be uncomfortable. And that's where the growth is. When you're stretching out, when you're taking life by the collar, you're going to get thrown to the ground again and again and again. But when you have determination and you know that what you're doing is right, it gives you your life, it gives a special meaning and power to you, you'll begin to discover some things about you that you don't know you've got when you put yourself in that type of challenging situation.
Ooh-wee. Told you I had a good one for y'all this morning. What y'all got? What do you hear? What do you hear? Comment your biggest takeaway. And I'll give you some of my thoughts on that, man. But that is powerful. How bad do you want it? See, life will bend to you when you demonstrate how bad you want something. And how do you do that, right? How do you let life know how bad you want something? It's based on your focus. See, when you want something really bad, you focus your actions, your thoughts, your money, your time, your energy, your effort. When you want something bad enough, it is clear because of the actions that you take, because of you're constantly thinking about it, because you're willing to invest money, you're willing to invest time. When you're willing to invest time, money, energy, focus, effort, your thoughts, your words, it's all you talk about, life will bend to your will. You guys hear me say this all the time. All the universe knows how to do is say yes. Question is, what are you giving it to say yes to? If all the universe knows how to do is say yes, all the universe wants to do is be in alignment with what you want. Most of us don't realize we spend way too much time talking about what we don't want. Therefore, the universe is aligning with us in that space too. Oh, I'm broke as a joke. The universe is aligning with that. That's all you talk about. I ain't gonna never find the perfect somebody. The universe is aligning with that and keeps all these duds keep hitting on you, right? You got to be careful what you say, man. You got to be careful. All the universe knows how to do is say yes. And your perception is your reality. When you said, oh, that was the stupidest thing I've ever done, the universe says, yes, it was. Then it shows you another mistake you made so that it validates what you already believe. And you go down this negative downward spiral of validating what you already believe. So eventually you go through years of that, you start feeling like you can't win. But the minute you start talking like a winner, thinking like a winner, then the universe is going to start showing you all of those small wins. And it's going to validate that, man, I am good at what I do. And then somebody's going to say, hey, you know what? I appreciate that, what you did, man. You're so good at that. That's a validation because your perception is your reality. Man, y'all got to get that. Stop speaking up what you don't want and start speaking what you do want, and watch that start showing up in your life. But then you got to turn your antennas on so you can start being receptive and start seeing all the opportunities that are around you. Start seeing all the ways that the universe is saying yes. because life wants to yield to those who want it bad enough, willing to invest time, energy, effort, mental focus on making their life come to a reality. He says you got to have a no matter what kind of spirit. I want you to put that in the comments. If you got a no matter what kind of spirit, I want you to put no matter what in the comments. See, I've already decided that I'm building a media empire that will surpass Ted Turner and Walt Disney someday. I've got a no matter what kind of spirit about my business. I got a no matter what kind of spirit about the type of a relationship that I want with my wife. I got a no matter what type of spirit about the relationships I want with my children. I got a no matter what type of spirit about this generational wealth legacy that I'm building right now. I got a no matter what kind of spirit about my business, my brand. I got a no matter what type of spirit about the man that I'm going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. I see you no matter what. Own Your Life. Hey, I told you guys I'm going to be hanging out with the Own Your Life crew here just a little bit. Jessica says, no matter what, got to keep going. You got to have a no matter what kind of attitude. So that was 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by Monetize My Life Academy. For those of you who are in business, you got a business or a brand and you're trying to figure out this social media thing, you're trying to get more leads, more sales, you're trying to get more awareness, more attention. Monetize My Life Academy is the premier digital marketing mastermind for entrepreneurs who are trying to grow their businesses and their brands using social media. Go to monetizemylifeacademy.com. You can check us out for just $1 for the first 30 days. You get full access. All of our courses, all of our past trainings, everything is available for you for just $1. And if you like us, then you can stick around for a small monthly fee. monetizemylifeacademy.com. So let's continue our discussion on the art of persuasion. 16 ways to move people to action without being pushy. This is a 5-part series, so we're on part number 2. And let's see, number 8. This is huge. Be confident, y'all. Be confident. You ain't selling nothing. You ain't persuading nobody to take actions you want them to take. You ain't nothing happening, man, if you ain't confident. You're not confident. Research shows that people are persuaded more by confidence than by expertise. Oh, I want y'all to get this, because some of you have some great business ideas. Some of you have some great services and products that you have access to offer, but you're not moving them like other people because other people are more confident. Some of you are waiting for your expertise to elevate. Man, when I become this level of expert, when I get this certification, when I get this degree or that degree, some of us have been doing certain things all of our lives and we are experts at it, but we don't have the confidence. So we can't sell our services, right? Come on. We all see it. We see that beautiful lady with the guy that doesn't seem to be so attractive. We see it, ladies. We see the fine guy whose lady doesn't seem to be all that aesthetically pleasing. How does that happen? One word: confidence. Confidence. In other words, people tend to be more persuaded emotionally than logically. If you come across as confident, you'll be more persuasive. On the flip side, you may have all the facts on your side, but if you're not confident, you won't be particularly persuasive, period. Because if I can't see that you don't believe in what it is that you're trying to get me to buy into, I ain't buying in. I am not buying in, right? This is good news for you. It means you don't have to be an expert in something in order to be persuasive. Rather, you simply need to be very confident in your presentation. Learn how to speak with authority, right? India Arie has a song called Talk to Her on her second album, one of my all-time favorite songs. And in that song, she said, the words that come out your mouth, you're the first to hear. And this is something that I live by. The words that come out of your mouth, you're the first to hear. So if you're trying to persuade somebody, then you got to be confident in the words that are coming out of your mouth. You got to believe them because you hear them first. This is also why you can't spend a lot of time talking and gossiping about people. You ever realize how people who do that a lot, that's just kind of their way of life? Because they don't realize the words that come out of their mouth, they're the first to hear. When I talk and beat somebody down, I'm beating myself down. Because the words that come out of my mouth, I'm the first to hear. When I say somebody is you stupid, I'm saying I'm stupid. You can't do this. You can't do that. I'm the first person who heard that. I'm saying I can't do this. That's why on the other flip side of that, when you speak life into other people, this is a huge reason that I do this every morning, is because I'm not speaking life to you before I'm speaking life to me. Right? The words that come out of my mouth, I'm speaking life to me as I'm speaking life to you. The other reason I do the show is because of the law of reciprocity. If I make a habit of speaking life into those that I don't know, then guess what? People are going to speak life into me who I don't know. I've got 5 sons. People are going to speak life into my kids because I've made a habit of sowing seeds of speaking life and providing value and being a giver first. I'm sowing so many seeds that I won't even be able to reap the harvest of all these seeds, but my kids will. So you got to be confident, right? More confident than you are an expert. Be bold when you're presenting your argument. The more confident you are when presenting your argument, the more likely you are to persuade someone. So be bold and be enthusiastic, even if you're not an expert on a particular topic. Be bold, be confident. But this also goes back to number 2. Number 2 was communicate clearly. And one of the sub points is be more prepared. Because when you're prepared, and we talk about preparation, not just being, I know my stuff. You got to, in business, you got to know your stuff and you got to know your clientele. So I know my stuff so well that I know when it's not going to fly in front of certain people. So I don't even present. That's called knowing your target market, your target audience. If I'm not in front of my target market, my target audience, it doesn't matter how confident I am. If I sell the best grass-fed beef and I'm in a room full of vegans, don't matter how confident I am, right? So being prepared means I got to get in front of the right people who are receptive to what I have to offer and who are already likely to move to my direction. They just need to understand a little bit, right? It's powerful, powerful stuff, man. You got to understand the power of persuasion. So that was number 8. Let's give you one more before we get out of here. Give me one more before we get out. All right, looks like I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody kicked me off the Wi-Fi. So I was going to give you a number 9, but let's table that. Let's table number 9. Let me just recap, and then we'll get out of here. And don't forget, guys, come check me out on Own Your Now show right here on Facebook, streaming live at 8:30 a.m. Central this morning. So we're talking the power of persuasion. This is a 3-part series. Tune in on Monday. We'll pick up part 3. If you did not catch part 1, all you got to do to catch any of the replays of the show is go to thecortezhustleshow.com, thecortezhustleshow.com, and you can catch the replays of all of the shows that we do right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, with additional commentary, lots of tools and resources, all of that kind of stuff. And for those of you who want to get the free resource that I'm referencing today, if you join our private Facebook group, Wealth Creation Playbook, right here on Facebook, then I have the actual downloadable document to this Art of Persuasion that you guys can check out. So let me just recap real quick. From shows 1 and 2, we're talking about the 16 ways to move people to the action you want them to take without being pushy. It's called the Art of Persuasion. Number 1, persuasion is about focusing on the other person, not yourself. If you're focusing only on yourself, then that's manipulation. That's bad. Persuasion, not so much, because you're focusing on bringing value, and it's not about you, it's about them. Number 2, communicate clearly. Communicate your argument in a crystal clear fashion so people know exactly what action you want them to take. Start small. Get people to agree with you on small things, and you can eventually get them to agree with you on bigger things. Number 4, be authentic. I can't hammer on this enough. Guys, there's certain people that will move only because you ask them to. But you got to be in your authentic voice at all times, right? Number 5, use reciprocity. Don't be afraid to give a little to get a little, right? The law of sowing and reaping is very real. Also know this: sometimes you're going to give and not reap from the same place, right? I might give to you, let's see, Kimberly, but I might reap from P. Jerome. P. Jerome, I might give something to. I might bless P. Jerome, but the harvest might come from Jessica M. Williams, right? So just understand that the law of sowing and reaping says that, yes, you will reap a harvest when you sow, but sometimes you reap from where you have not sown, right? That's also scripture. The law of reciprocity. Number 6, use proper patterns of speech. Know when to speed up, know when to slow down, know when to go into detail. Use nonverbal communication cues to help you determine when somebody is confused about something that you're saying, so that you can really break it down and help them to get a better understanding. Number 7, create scarcity, but the key here is real scarcity. Like if I'm telling my son, hey, if you clean your room before noon, I'm going to throw an extra $5 on your allowance. Now, if he doesn't clean it before noon and he still gets an extra $5, that just ruined my reputation, right? Because he's going to start thinking, well, I don't got to move. And when he's trying to get me to do something extra, I'm going to get it anyway. So that's fake scarcity. No, you got to use real scarcity, because that's about keeping your word. Number 8, be confident. Confidence is better than expertise in a lot of cases. But if you got confidence and you're an expert, then you're ready to kill the game, my friend. So we'll pick up on number 9 on Monday. So make sure you guys are back here 7 a.m. Central Standard Time on Monday morning for part 3 of the Art of Persuasion. Till I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. So hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.